Hey guys, it's Haley Shanley once again, co-host of the GPSV podcast. Today we're going to welcome back to the show. I chatted with him last season, but this year schedule is back to normalcy. It is a stout one. Gunnar Sterne running a full schedule here, including 3 stops in Canada, one of which being his favorite event of the year, GPSV. He has 2 titles here with his sights set on his 3rd. He's coming off of a heater of a season last year, 4 of 6 wins, but he's going to have his work cut out for him this year, racing not 1 but 2 classes. I'm going to talk with him about that, plus previewing the 2022 schedule of his and what else is new with his race program for 2022. Let's catch up with Gunnar Sterne. So Gunnar Sterne, super excited to have you back on the podcast. It's been a minute since we talked, and we'll be talking a lot about getting back to normalcy today in terms of a schedule. So to start off, what have you been up to, and how was Heydays? I saw you got to go.
Yeah, Hades was awesome. Bigger than ever, honestly. It was huge. Usually, like on Sunday, you kind of see people like starting to fade off. It's kind of like always been like a 1-day event. This year, it was like full blown 2 days. Everyone was there for both days. And it was just like jam packed. So it was so much fun, just getting back into the rhythm of seeing people you haven't seen in a while, meeting some new people, and just everyone just kind of getting back into the swing of thing, and starting to get cold here. Today it was like below freezing for most of the day. So feels good. Especially this past week, I was out in Los Angeles doing a little bit of training with the Red Bull Athlete Performance Center there. So we it was kind of going from 80, almost 90 degrees down to like 20 degrees here. So kind of gets you in the mood for racing though. So just been focusing on, getting the training going back full swing again. And then obviously working on sleds. We got 2 sleds to build this year with the 2 different classes. So kind of doing a dual front with the F3 class being the world championship, put a little bit more effort into that stud. And then obviously, with the rest of the season being the pro champ.
Right on. So we're let's talk about your upcoming season 2 and your schedule. It looks like it's for the most part, if not completely, back to normal, going internationally. Many rounds of racing ahead for you. So break that down for me.
Yeah, so it's definitely. I think we have like almost all the races back. We have races we missed out on last year that were planned, but then just got canceled for whatever reason, COVID or just lack of front of putting the race on. So we'll be starting it back in good old Beaujeu, which is cool. We didn't have that last year. Our first race last year was in Eagle River, so that was kind of a weird twist to have the world championship right off the bat. So this year it'll be nice to get back up there and get some testing in, and that's usually more of a laid back race, just kind of see where you're at and what where you need to be for the next couple months. And then we're back into a full schedule with first race of the Pro Star Cup in Ironwood, and then world championship on the typical weekend there in the middle of January. And then before long we'll be getting back to Valcour, which is always my favorite race, and I love getting back out there. It's been almost 2 years, so love getting to go back internationally, and hopefully we'll be able to make it. I mean, we're putting all of our effort into making sure we can get across the border. That's probably going to be the scariest part, is when we show up to the border and see if they let us in or not. But we'll definitely be prepared. Have all our paperwork going in the right place, and everyone will be have all the paperwork with our crew and tested for COVID protocols and all that good stuff.
We're super excited to have you back. I'm excited to see you there. For Valcour, you told me a few weeks ago in a reply in the comments that you feel more at home at GPSV than in Wisconsin. So what is it you are most looking forward to about being back in Valcour this year?
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head. When we come there, everyone's just so nice. They greet you like the second you walk into the track. They're so happy that you're there, especially when you come as far as we do. We're probably one of the further competitors to travel there, and they're super appreciative of us coming there, and not just just for riding for Skidoo, and they're appreciative of everybody that shows up there, especially everyone that comes to the United States. And it's just, there's something about the track, the history of it. I think they're going on 35 or 40 years, I think, this year. So it's a lot of history and a lot of prestige with it. To win the Grand Prix is pretty cool, and it's also pretty cool that they call their race a Grand Prix. That just puts a little bit of special meaning behind it too. He's kind of like F1 racing, a little bit of a history behind that. So, a lot of the names that have won there, a lot of the balls that won there for a while, and someone that's on my team that's close with us, Mike Cool, he's won there a couple of times. So they have a cool wall of fame there that has a lot of these names up there, and just go back there and hopefully do as well as we have been, and put our mark there at the track as well.
How is the grind different getting ready for this year compared to recent seasons? Of course, you're running the 2 classes, you're back to a full schedule. Is the workload more than recent seasons?
Yeah, it's a little bit, maybe just because a little bit more effort with the class change for the World Championship this year. So we've been racing F3 for the past 2 years. So we kind of have a little bit, we're kind of have it down where we had the 2 class thing going pretty well. We're focusing on 1 class there for my whole career, and then 2 years ago they came up with the F3 class where we got the race 2 classes, which was awesome. More time on the track, and complete racing completely different snowmobiles. But yeah, like you said, it's a little bit more of an effort to put a little bit more effort into that F3 class that has been a little bit on the back burner the past 2 years. Honestly, our effort has always been to do well in the champ class. That's what the point standing is, and that's usually what everyone comes out to watch. And that's usually the last race of the day. But this year being the World Championship in the F3 class, it's hard to not put 100% into that class too. Especially going into anything can happen this year. I mean, I think we have as good a shot at winning a World Championship this year as we have in past years. Especially with we've had a lot of success in that class the past couple of years. I mean, it's been up and down, but we did win the World Championship in the F3 class last year, so we have that to go back on. So like you said, it'll be a little bit more hectic. I mean, it's not easy racing a couple sleds. You're in and out of the trailer with both sleds, one going in, one going out, getting out on the track on both of them. It's definitely busy, but we'll see if it pays off for us there.
Going to be a busy year, but you're coming in with some momentum with the successes you found last year with multiple titles. So take us back to the 2021 season, and just how did it go for you?
Yeah, like you said, it was different. Like I said, it was being the first race at the World Championship. It was weird. Usually it's you have some riding time beneath you, but that was the first time I got on my sled was that like Friday morning, I think, of Eagle River last year. And it was definitely a strange feeling to not have the seat time under me, but it ended up pretty well that night. They did a different race program that night. They did a 1v1 Woody's Challenge last year, which was different and cool. None of us had ever done that before. So that whole program itself was it was hard in the sense that getting to race one person for 3 laps, and then if you won, you moved on. If you didn't, that was done. That was the end of your day. So that was completely strange for all of us. And in the end, it ended up being awesome. We did get the win for the Friday Night Thunder there. So that put us on the pole for Sunday. The Sunday race was not the best of ours. I think conditions came into it. It was, really warm that weekend, and the ice conditions were less than normal. So we were like down the dirt by Saturday, and by Sunday it was pretty much almost all dirt. So I think we could have done a better job of just setting our sled up for that day specifically. We came home with 3rd place, which isn't horrible, but definitely would have liked the win there. But after that weekend, I feel like we kind of hit our groove. We went back to Wausau, which was an awesome track for us historically. We had 3 in a row going into there. The year before, we didn't race there, so this was going for the 4-peat this year. Saturday was mediocre, if I remember. I think we had a top 3. I think I was leading, and I kind of fell back there. Just track got to me a little bit. I think we made some adjustments for Sunday, that we led every lap there on Sunday and picked up our 4th championship there. So that was awesome. I love going to Wausau. It's kind of like a home track for me too. my wife now is, she's from there, from Wausau. So we always have a lot of friends, a lot of family there coming out to that track. After that, like I said, we kind of hit a roll. It was weird that the season was only 3 races, and we had a little bit of a break between Wausau and the last race, which was Eagle River. But we did go back to, we didn't get to go back to Eagle River for the World Series for that last race, which we've had good success there when we go back in the spring race. They just started that spring race a couple of years ago, and usually it goes like we're not very well in January, and then we go back for the spring race and we do a lot better, which again happened this year. We won both days there on Saturday and Sunday, and we picked up another World Series championship. So out of the 4 finals, or out of the 6 finals out of the year, we won 4 of them, which is, which you can't complain about that. So like you said, a lot of momentum going into this year, and hopefully we build on that and we get as many wins as possible.
So now for 2022, other changes to your program. You have a new logo, you have a new sponsor coming on board. Talk to me about the changes that you're unveiling this year.
Yeah, so a lot of new changes this year, which is nice. I like to keep things fresh. Like last year, we rolled out a totally new decal kit that we worked with someone from Europe. Actually, his name is Sean Bolt. So like this year, like you said, we have a new sponsor coming on board with us. Engine Ice was starting to become very well known. I mean, they're a coolant, a product we've been using for years, and just got in contact with them, and we teamed up for this year. So that's awesome to have them on board. Another big change with us is Aqua Finance is becoming a premier sponsor of ours. So they're stepping up to the plate and give us a little bit more support. So we'll be I'm proud to have them with us again for another year and give them a little bit more exposure. And then, like you said, just some more stuff with training. I've been hitting the training a little bit differently this year, off the track, in the gym. I've got a little bit different program. I've been working with the Performance Center with Red Bull that is out in Santa Monica. So they have a little bit, been talking with them. They have a little bit different program to go with for this year, kind of change things up, see how I can do stuff different. That's kind of what I thought was a little bit of a weak point last year with me. And then another thing we have going this year is getting on a track a little bit before Beaujeu, hopefully. So that's something that we usually don't do, is get testing time in before the track. Usually most of our testing, or actually all of our testing, happens at the track, whether it's the day before through a testing session. So this year we're going to make an effort to get on some ice before the season, and really dial in some stuff that we need to figure out especially with the F3 class. And then I have some other stuff, some promotional stuff I'm looking forward to rolling out this year. Some stuff I can't let everyone in on yet, but there's going to be some pretty cool stuff going on with teaming up with FXR and SCS to bring a pretty cool auction item that we'll be auctioning off for Friday Night Thunder. So can't let you know what it's going to be just yet, but it's going to be pretty cool. So.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what that's all about. And stop me here if you can't say any more too. But the last question I wanted to ask you is about your podcast you launched last season. What are your plans for it this year? Are you planning to continue the show?
Yeah, we're definitely planning to get it rolling up again. Just right around that time, I think we can start doing some preseason episodes. Last year, we did 4 episodes. We started it like halfway through the season. It was my wife and I. I've always had the idea of, somehow connecting to my fans a little bit better, just than, the typical Instagram post or Facebook post, talking to them at more of a deeper level and kind of giving them a little bit more information about what goes on, with in our race team, kind of like on a deeper level, and then just kind of talking ice-oval racing, what are my opinions on stuff, and, where I would like things to go, and kind of bringing on some different guests. Last year we had on PJ Wanderscheid, which was really cool to have him on there, 4-time world champion, Eagle River world champion. So yeah, we'll definitely have some more guests on, hopefully. I think we'll have get back into a rhythm of doing it maybe once a week when the season comes around, if we can. Hopefully get those rolling out like midweek, kind of do a recap on the week before, and then a preview on the weekend to come ahead. So yeah, it's been fun, honestly. I think that suits me well. A lot of people start, have their own little niche of how to connect to their fans. I think, doing a podcast it suits us well, gives us, a little bit more time to kind of really talk about, how our team, really goes down, and a lot of the stuff that gets talked about on the Ice Oval Facebook pages, people are discussing and arguing about, and that's the stuff that people are very, emotional about, and they really get into. So really like talking about that stuff with the guests that we will probably have on coming into this year. And Red Bull got me hooked up with a little bit better audio equipment this year. So hopefully, I know that was one of the things last year was we couldn't hear our guests and myself and Macy too well. So we'll definitely have a little bit better top notch equipment this year. So maybe we'll have that, and maybe throw in a little bit of video so we can do like some live sessions with it. That'd be pretty cool to just kind of have a little bit more of a reaction and conversation with the fans. So when, maybe do like a Facebook Live. So we'll keep it fresh, do some stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, the podcast and your work, like what that does for the fans is the level of insight that gives is second to none. So I'm glad to hear you're going to be continuing it. Speaking of insight here, one of the last questions I want to leave the fans with is you love coming to Valcour. This year they're going back to some of their roots from the start of the event, of bringing the event into the town of Valcour and more events going on there, to an outsider, someone from the States or even not from Quebec. What is one thing you have to do when you go to visit Valcour, be it in town or in the area?
One thing that I just did last year, and I've been going for 4 or 5 years, and I actually we just got enough time to go there. That was going to the museum, the Bombardier Museum, and that was awesome. Going there, it has a history of Skidoo and Bombardier and BRP, but it has so much more than that. There's so much history with snowmobiles itself and just the area. That area is just so rich with our sport. So that was pretty cool to go there. I would definitely suggest going there. If you can somehow get into the factory, if they have tours, that'd be awesome to go in there and do that and see how the sleds are made and all the other equipment that they have there, and just cruise around the town. We usually try to find a local place to eat. There's a pretty cool little cafe right across from the factory there that only speaks French. There's one restaurant that we found out that doesn't speak any English, so had a little bit of a hard time ordering from them, but we figured it out. So and then when you're at the track, obviously anywhere at the track is an awesome time. Interacting with the fans, everyone there is awesome. Walking around the pits, you can't walk 2 feet without somebody trying to stop you and talk to you, and try and get in your mind a little bit about how the sled's going, or how the season's been going. So I just love talking to the fans there. They're always so inquisitive, and they're always friendly, which is awesome. So really, that's you can't go wrong with Valcour. It's an amazing event. Can't wait to get back there this year. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Like you said, I haven't been there for 2 years, and like you said, they have some big plans for this year. Touching back with history, which will be cool. I'm a big history buff. I love the history of our sport. So it'd be cool to kind of see that take place too. Just like to give a shout out to a lot of my sponsors. Like you said, we have Aqua Finance coming on board with us, and then Red Bull, obviously a great sponsor with us, and then Skidoo, obviously giving us support again for this year with the F3 class and the champ class again. Woody's Traction has been great with us for a number of years. Dayco belts, FXR, like I said, we have a great hookup with them. Awesome new project we've been working on with them for this year. Spy Optics. I think I'm forgetting a couple. Tubba Tiles is another sponsor that have jumped on with us past couple of years. Give them some exposure with them. Great product that we've been working with. Engine Ice, like we talked about before. Just great people that we've been working with for a while. Love to give them as much exposure as possible.
Great stuff and great insight coming from Skidoo athlete Gunnar Sterne. You will once again be able to see him at his favorite event of the year, the 40th edition of GPSV, where he has a sight set on his 3rd title. He's going to be a busy guy this year with his full schedule and running not one but 2 classes, but we wish him all the success. We'll be following along. And while we wait for the 40th edition of GPSV, do yourself a favor and subscribe to the Ice Warrior podcast. That's Gunnar's show, wherever it is you get your podcasts. And for the GPSV podcast, be sure to subscribe on Spotify. You can also find our video episodes here on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Haley Shanley, co-host of the GPSV podcast. I cannot wait to see your beautiful faces February 11th, 12th, and 13th. Here for the GPSV podcast, we will see you next time.